Hi, my name is Steven Sneeden. I'm with product marketing at Sony Ericsson, and today what we're showing is the Xperia Play, the first PlayStation certified device in the world, and it's going to be coming to Verizon looking like mid to late April or early May, around that timing. And the first thing we want to talk about whenever we talk about this device is establishing the fact that this is a full-fledged smartphone. It runs on the latest version of the Android platform. So you're going to get all that you have there with the latest version of Google mobile services and the great texting capability and editing capability that we now have with Gingerbread. And in addition, you're going to get certain applications preloaded for Verizon. There's the VCast apps link, and then moving over here we have Verizon Navigator, Visual Voicemail. That's a personal favorite application of mine from Verizon. And your My Verizon giving you your data usage and statistics and resources on your account. And then we see things like the Android Market widget there. But what you'll notice also with the 5 screens, you have a lot of room to add a lot of widgets and shortcuts of your own. This has the fastest Wi-Fi capability, so you have 802 BGNN, and 802.11 BGNN, and then you have dual cameras as well. You've got the VGA camera, forward-facing front camera, and then the rear camera, the primary camera is a 5 megapixel with an LED camera light. So you have this for most of your photography, but then if you want to do video chat, video calling kind of applications, then you have the front camera as well. You have a really good chipset here too. You've got the 2nd generation Snapdragon processor that works in tandem with the Adreno 205 GPU, a graphics processor, that makes this a very nimble device. And it's a dual channel chipset, so that helps to contribute to the really fast processing, along with the enhancements that you're getting from Android 2.3 to make this power efficient and really nimble. So that's talking a little bit about the smartphone aspect of it. So again, remembering that we want to let people know that you're not getting any compromises in the smartphone quality before we then go into the fact again that this is the first PlayStation certified device in the world. And part of that comes into play with the Xperia Play is a genuine gaming controller, of course inspired by PlayStation. You can see the D-pad, the directional keys, and the PlayStation symbols for all the different actions that you would do. And then the touchpad here, the analog touchpad, gives you 2 analog joysticks. So if a game developer has written to this touchpad, you would have the ability to navigate or do other functions on this touchpad. For example, there's a game preloaded called Asphalt 6 Adrenaline. I can steer the car with the D-pad, or I can go to the touchpad if I want to do it that way. The same thing with Star Battalion, another preloaded game. I can control my spaceship here with the touchpad. Another example is a game called Dungeon Defender that's going to be available as a downloadable game. Lets me control moving around with the left joystick, but then I can turn the body around and change my point of view by using the right analog joystick. So let me go back here to the home screen again, and let me show you again what happens when you open the launcher. Because first we start out as a smartphone, but when I hold horizontally and I open it up, that gives me the Xperia Play launcher. And there's 2 tabs. This one right here where it says Xperia Play Games shows me the preloaded titles that are optimized for the Xperia Play. Preloaded, and then when I later download games that are optimized for the Xperia Play, they'll show up here as well. So here I've got Asphalt 6 Adrenaline, that's from Gameloft, Bruce Lee Dragon Warrior, and that's from Digital Legends, and then we have a classic Sony title, Crash Bandicoot, that's optimized for the Xperia Play, an EA game, Madden NFL 11, and Star Battalion from Gameloft 2, and then we have The Sims 3. There's one more game in the Verizon package that is preloaded, and that's Tetris. But that game is just a pure touch game, so that does not show up here in the Xperia Play launcher. So if I downloaded a game that wasn't optimized for this device, for example Angry Birds, it would play just fine on this device, but as a pure touch game, and it won't show up in the launcher, it'll show up in the main menu of the phone. So, and also, one thing we pointed out, what we first went to, because I had this selected on more games, when this device goes live and commercial in stores for Verizon, more games will populate also with images like you saw in the other tab, but this will be images of games that will be available for download. When this device launches, there'll be about 50 games available right for the get-go for download. And so I would touch on the icon for that particular game. It would read me a brief description and tell me how much the game costs. And we imagine that the games are going to cost in the ballpark of like $5 to $8. But then I can go download that game directly to the phone, and then it would be put on my wireless bill, on my Verizon wireless bill. So really effortless as far as paying for it and downloading the game and starting playing right away. And again, we're going to have about 50 titles ready to download when this product launches, with more to come from major publishers like we mentioned, like Electronic Arts, Gameloft, Glue, Fish Labs, etc. So there's going to be a really robust catalog that's coming, going to keep growing, and more titles from Sony to come as well as we go throughout the year. And if you like, we'll launch a game. Well, let me just pick one. For example, let's go to Star Battalion. And as we take a little bit to launch the device, I'll also point out, to launch the game, I'll point out also that you have, in addition to all the other keys and functions that I've mentioned, you have the shoulder buttons, also known as trigger buttons, so to perform additional actions. And then you have volume keys that are in the center too. So that's very logically placed. So when I'm playing the game, and I have my index fingers here, it's very easy for me to reach over and adjust the volume. So here's showing a little teaser video, and we can just pass through that and load the game up, and it'll take a little bit to load up. And while that's doing, I'll mention that both Star Battalion and Asphalt 6 Adrenaline, which come from Gameloft, support multiplayer capability over Wi-Fi. And that's multiplayer either locally with people in the same room, or you can play people all around the world through Gameloft Live. And there's our spaceship. And what it'll do first, once it loads up, it'll take us through a little training mission where you can learn how to navigate the controls before you go into the actual mission of battling against the Empire, I guess it would be. But with that multiplayer capability, with Gameloft Live, doing that online, with that fast Wi-Fi capability that I mentioned, you get a username and password that you sign up right from the device through Gameloft Live, and thereafter you can go join in games that other people are inviting you to do, or you start inviting other people to play with you as well. This game in particular supports up to 3 people playing together multiplayer. The other Gameloft game that we have preloaded, Asphalt 6 Adrenaline, supports up to 6 people racing against each other. So right now I'm practicing moving left and right and up and down with my D-pad, and now let me try it with the analog joystick as well. So seeing if I got my flying controls down before I then go and try to fire my weapons. So I've got a laser weapon, like a machine gun there. Gonna see if I can fire on the target. There, I hit that one, so now I can go and try to find another target and practice on my secondary weapon. I just did a little backup there to check on my space. I can do a thrust as well. So now let me fire my torpedoes. See if I did I hit that one? Almost. Yeah, there we go, we got it. So now other functions you can perform and try out before you go into your actual mission. You can do barrel rolls. Remember those shoulder buttons, the trigger buttons. Do left and right barrel rolls to evade the enemy. But also, if I get in trouble, I can do a U-turn. If I find I'm in deep space, do a U-turn by pressing them both together. And that gets me back into the scene of things where I need to be.
Pricing and availability of this device?
Pricing is not yet announced by Verizon, and that's totally up to Verizon, but we expect it to be in a premium tier, so in the upper echelons of their product pricing. The availability, we're expecting this to be Q2, and estimating mid-April to early May is what I think we're going to have it at.